Hello, right, okay. Got some updates on bits on the Range Rover, just a real quick one. What I should say as well, if you're liking these videos, then please like them, subscribe, so you can follow the progress of how we're doing. Like I said, I've been on the lookout for a few main things: tailgate, the upper tailgate, the rear bumper, and a backlight, and a spare wheel. So I found the tailgate, which is here. I'll do a little bit on that in a minute. It's a really good condition one. Quite pleased with this. The bumper I don't have with me. I've just left that with the guy who's going to be spraying that. So, but again, that's good. There's no cracks in it. It just needs good rub down and spraying. Got myself a backlight, the rear light cluster for the left-hand side. They were more expensive than I thought actually, but I've managed to get one. It's got a little bit of damage, but not that anyone's going to notice, and it's just a little mini repair that I'm going to have to do. What I'll do is I'll cover them in more detail on another video, but what I was thinking was, for people who know about these cars or who've done bits on it in the past, I'd like to know what you think about how much you reckon it was to get a rear light, a tailgate, and a rear bumper. Obviously all second hand, but they're all good second hands. We'll have a look at this tailgate in a sec. So yeah, it'd be good to know what you think is a good price for those. But the other part of this was getting a spare wheel sorted out. Now, as I've mentioned, my sister has already got another of these Range Rovers, and she's got a bit of a bugbear in that she doesn't like the suspension. The ride is a little bit too hard, and she's got 20-inch wheels on that, which by today's standard is not massive. But what I said was, whilst I'm looking out for bits for this, if I come across anything that I think is a reasonable deal, then I'll get you some 19-inch alloys and we'll stick those on. So basically that's what I've done. In looking for these other bits, I've come across a full set, five alloys, 6 spokes for the Range Rover. They've come off for 2005, 2006 one. They're all in pretty good nick, good tyres on them, decent make of tyre, bit of wear on the edges on some of them, but they're all well legal, like 5+ kilometres on all of them. So ideal. So it kills two birds with one stone. We can see what difference it's going to make to her, the ride of her Range Rover, which is currently on 20-inch ones. So seeing what a thicker tyre wall is going to do to the comfort factor on there. Obviously, she only needs 4. So the worst one I'm just going to pick out of these and use as a spare. So if we look then, for example, here, this is the worst wheel out of the 5, and which I'm going to designate as being obviously the spare. It's just a few knocks on it. It's actually still not that bad, and they'll probably polish out a little bit, but it's going to be a spare. That's fine. However, the tyre on this one is probably one of the best. So what we're going to do is obviously do a bit of a swapping around situation. This one has got a Pirelli Scorpion on that, really good tyre actually, but it's very old. It's looking at the tyre code on it, it's 2006, so that's definitely spare wheel, sort of designated spare wheel, and obviously use something like that with care. There's no cracking on it, actually looks in pretty good nick, but you would really only want to be limping home on something like that. The wheel on this one is one of the best. However, some idiot, in this day and age, what people put in like lead weights on the end, on the outside of an alloy, it's just criminal. So yeah, that's obviously, well, we're going to be swapping the tyre anyway, so they're going to get rebalanced, but I'll be making sure that no one's going to stick balance weights on the outside and ruining what is a good wheel. So sorted out the spare for for this one we're doing the mini restoration on, so that's good. And then the other ones are all obviously going to go on the other car. Let's say they're pretty impressed with the tread depth on these and the condition of tyres. The wheels, they're all. I mean, I've not cleaned these yet, and they look to be in pretty good nick. So I mean, once we've given them a bit of a alloy wheel clean on it, maybe a little bit of T-cut, buff them up a little bit, then they're going to look good. And really, for 5, I'll tell you what I paid for these 5. And this is, bear in mind, what we're February 2020 now. These were 250 quid for all 5, including the tyres, which I think is pretty good. So that's the tyre situation. We've got a spare wheel sorted. Now on to this bit, which I wouldn't, like I say, it'd be interesting to know what people think is going to be a good price for these bits, just to keep myself in check so that I know that we're keeping on a good budget. Now I've already started taking the badges and the bits of trim off here, but this is obviously it's not the right colour, but that's going to get resprayed. So but as you can see, we saw on the other one, if you can see under here, we can see the light. This is lovely paint and no rust, no rot, good sound tailgate, not any damage on there whatsoever, all the way down to the other end. It's really good, really good nick. Now best thing to do really is to just turn this the other way around so you can see it all here properly. This is where they go. Hopefully you can hear me alright, because this has got a tin roof on this garage and it's raining bucket loads out there. But yeah, so this is where they all go. These corners here, water collects, drips down, collects under here, on top of all this, and they just rot. And they're really bad for it. I even think the classics, I think, were really bad for this as well. So I've been quite lucky, I think, to find this definitely at the price I got it for, with no real visible. There's a tiny hint around one of the seams, but this looks really clean. The only way this could have been better is if it had been Java black, and that would have been perfect, because there would have been a lot less work involved, because obviously as it is, it's going to have to be painted, but it shouldn't, once I'll get it all masked off, take it to the spray shop. There's not much on show on the other side of it. Like all this here doesn't need to be painted, because most of this isn't hidden by trim. It's just going to have to, this will have to have a bit of a flashing off underneath here, and just up the inside, and maybe the hinges just get blown in a little bit with a bit of black. But yeah, as you can see here, the other job that's going to be time consuming is all these wires here are going to need to be these need to be stripped out of here, because the ones that are currently in the car need to be fed through, and they need to follow all this line and come out here so that everything works as it should do. So yeah, bit of work involved in that. And the wiper motor needs, like transposing, putting back in there. So yeah, so a good amount of work in there, but the finished result's going to be really good. Really looking forward to see it. Now back on this side, the work to do is going to be to get rid of all this adhesive that the badges get stuck on with. You've got Range Rover, and you've also got this bit of trim here. Now the trick that I've been told works well, I've put a bit on here already, is, so you can get that in focus, WD-40 and good old elbow grease. So this soaking already for a bit. It's obviously difficult to do whilst you're holding a mobile phone, and it does appear to still be taking quite a long time, so I'm going to have to persevere with this one. This is where I could probably do with me fast forwarding this and ending up with a real nice finished product at the end of it. Right, now I've been having to go at that for a couple of minutes, and I've not really got much further, so I'm not so sure that that trick is working very well. So if I'm doing anything wrong, then anyone who knows a good trick, then please let me know. I've used WD-40 before, not WD-40, that's what I'm using now, Meths, which I think I've found to be quite an effective way of getting sticky stuff off. So I'm probably going to give that a bash, but I'm going to have a break now anyway, so if anyone's got any better ideas, please let me know, and come up with another idea for getting rid of those car badges. So next up, we're going to be looking at doing the a bit of a piece on the light that I've acquired. Just needs a little bit of a fix on there before it goes on the car, and I have ordered 1 or 2 LED bulbs, which I was going to leave till a bit later on, but as we're doing lights and what have you, I think that's going to be one of the next things that I take a look at with this, and as well as doing all these other bits as and when I can get round to it. So yeah, keep watching if you're enjoying them. Any comments, be great to hear them, and hopefully there'll be another video up soon. Cheers, bye bye.